Okay, let's move on to receiving tips. So this is purchase order receiving, transfer order receiving, return order receiving. Anything coming into the building is a receipt. And it's really your first line of defense to keep your inventory accurate. You need a strong receiving process to make sure that inventory is coming in correctly. You've got the right quantity, the right item. So really receiving is where it all starts, in my opinion, as far as keeping inventory accurate. Now there's different methods of receiving. So I've seen all of these different methods. So this really takes some analysis to figure out what's the best method for you. You may want to receive just a single PO at a time, maybe multiple orders, multiple purchases to a single license plate, which I'll get into what license plate control is here in just a little bit. Maybe separate license plates for every item. I've seen some clients receive items to a cart or multiple carts. So they'll load up a cart and then load up another cart. So you need to really determine, what method of receiving works for you. Printing labels for all items being received. This is really important to identify products. It's going to be used for scanning. So those barcode labels, and I mean printing on like a Zebra printer, a label printer where you can apply that label to the product. Now, D365 Warehouse Management does this for you. It has a program, it has the functionality to print those labels. But there are other off-the-shelf printing software. So if you're not using D365 WMS today, you can use like a Bartender or a Loftware, something like that, to print labels. So those are fairly common. Okay, some other receiving tips is have a strong quality control program for incoming receipts. This is really important to have a QC program. Just about everyone inspects boxes coming in. If there's a damaged box, you set it to the side. But this goes a little bit further than that. It's recording, recording the results in the system. So a few considerations, you may have elaborate quality test plans. Sometimes those might require an add-on system, like a separate quality management system, depending on how complex that gets. Having pass-fail tests. These are the most common I see for distributors. It comes in, does it pass or does it fail? And you need a record of that. So that's a pretty common one. Maybe, a visual test, just to make sure, the package isn't damaged. Very common, that happens everywhere. Maybe you need to, only test a percentage of each receipt or skip a receipt. You test one receipt, skip the next, test the next one. Those are some things I see in quality control all the time. And this is another question I get all the time. Which vendors do we test? Do we just test new vendors, all vendors? Maybe it's a new vendor you don't quite trust yet. You want to make sure that they're, are sending quality products. You may want to tag just that one vendor to be tested. And then, over a period of time, you don't test that one anymore. Those are some considerations around quality. So once quality releases the inventory, where the warehouse is going to put that inventory away out into the warehouse.